All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a little bit of time. Last week there was no video because incredibly busy here at the house. So doing spring cleaning, dumpster, the whole 9 yards. And then, of course, there's a long list of things that needed to be done, dealing with paint and railings being installed in certain areas and all that. So I was busy with the family taking care of all of that, which did not give me the opportunity to record and release a video for you. But I'm here today doing this for you. All right, first and foremost, we actually have sponsors, and I want to give a quick shout out. So, quick shout out to Freedom Ballistics. I know you might be wondering who that is. They are a new FFL here in Wallingford. So if you're looking for an FFL that is not one of the other ones where it may be FUD Central or they just, have a really bad reputation, give them a try. The link for them will be down below. Specifically, if you are looking for a P320 with a Romeo Pro at an extraordinary price, below $1,000, just slightly above cost, then give Freedom Ballistics a ring because he has one in stock. Another shout out to Connecticut Night Vision. Thank you for your support. They've just bought a bunch of swag off the merch store. And if you are into the night vision game or wanting to get into the night vision game, I can honestly say you really need to look at Connecticut Night Vision. Of course, his links will be down in the description below. Lots of good stuff there. Lots of information and lots of training available for night vision, along with carbine, pistol, so on and so forth. All right. Now, on to this video's main sponsor. The sponsor is Shutterbomb. All right. You may see their ads every now and then across social media platforms. What are shutter bombs? Shutter bombs are smoke grenades, and they are completely legal. And we're going to get into the whole thing. All right, so full disclosure, I did receive a bunch of smoke grenades from Shutterbomb. No money ever exchanged hands. In fact, I saw their ads, and I just reached out to the company. I said, hey, how is this possible? ATF has pretty much regulated you guys out of business. And the owner reached out and said, no, actually, we've been working with the ATF, and this is what we're doing to work around it, so on and so forth. It sparked up a conversation, and they were kind enough to send me 2 cases of all their colors, along with a couple extra yellows and reds to kind of mess around with, pop off, all that good stuff using training, and we'll get into the nitty-gritty. So a big shout out to Shutterbomb. Thank you for sponsoring this video. All right, on to the video. Okay, so back in November of 2023, the Department of Justice and ATF released a letter right here. All right, the link for that will also be in the description. It is a notification for previously exempted special explosive devices, i.e., smoke grenades, flashbangs, things like that. For the longest time, you could buy these and own these as a regular, normal civilian. We always think of these as regulated to just law enforcement in the military, but you could have owned these for training, home defense, photography, what have you. So the ATF said, pursuant to Regulation 27 CFR, subsection 55.32, you can't own these. All right, what exactly did they regulate? I'm going to grab this right here. So what they specifically regulated was this mechanism. The mechanism of the pull tab. All right, not about the spoon or anything like that, but the fuse. All right, the explosive fuse that's in here. So when you pull this, release the spoon, the firing train happens to ignite this. All right, that is specifically what they regulated. All right. They went on to say in this letter that, this is the funny part, it is a public safety and security hazard Because I gotta find it. ATF has recently received information regarding incidents to incidents in which certain explosive devices, flashbang grenades and smoke grenades, were used against law enforcement officers or for criminal purposes. So criminals, I guess, were getting high tech and doing a flash and crash to do robberies or something. I have no idea. Additionally, the ATF has received evidence that such devices can cause wildfires, resulting in extensive damage to property and is a danger to the public. Based on these public safety concerns, the ATF has determined that these explosive devices pose a risk to the public safety and rescind the SED exemptions for the products listed in Figure 1, which included the M18 smoke grenades, things like that. Now, Shutterbomb, and there's a few other companies out there that were affected initially, but working with ATF, they were able to kind of get around everything. All right, before we get too far in the video, I just wanted to say the best way to support the channel is getting some swag out of the merch store. Links for the merch store are down in the description below. As always, go pick yourself up some Gun Guru swag, all kinds of things. Bestseller right now is obviously that America runs on guns and ammo. If you know, you know, especially if you're in the Northeast, and we have that type of store everywhere. It's a little parody shirt, so order one or two. Stock up on them. All right. And of course, there's always Patreon, locals, things like that. Do your part. Help the channel grow. It helps me provide free information and free content for you. Back to the video. So, how were they able to do that? Well, it's simple. This is what they look like. So instead of being a pull ring that ignites everything, it is now a wick. You have to light it. All right. Once you light it, it sizzles and goes off. So that's how they were able to work around it to ensure that what product you were getting was compliant with all federal laws and local laws. All right. When you go to their website, it will specifically tell you that you cannot get these if you live in California, because there is massive state regulation on these types of devices. So if you live in California, unfortunately, you're not going to have the ability to order these online and have them shipped to you. That sucks. Move. I'm stuck here in Connecticut for a little while longer. Move. Get out of these places. Okay, so what does Shutterbomb offer you? Well, it's pretty simple. They offer you the legal smoke grenades. Shutterbombs come in 9 vibrant colors. Most of these colors you will have seen if you were prior military or you're just a movie buff and you watch war movies, you will see different colors being used. Well, doing research for this video, I was looking for specifically SOPs on color usages based more than just my experience. All right, other branches may have different criteria and all that. Specifically, I was looking at the Army's publication governing pyrotechnics and grenades, which is TC 3-23.30. The latest one is from August of 21. So for more information on that, you can look that publication up. It does a great job in giving you a breakdown of all the military grade grenades and smoke signals, pyrotechnics, things like that. It gets into like thermite grenades, smoke grenades, so on and so forth. Okay. Looking for SOP. So my experience with these is it was command specific. Okay. The only one that really was ever locked in stone was white. White was always used for concealment, for concealing your movements, things like that. Why white? White has a great coverage. It does a great job of really blocking everything out. When it comes to the other colors, the only time I've ever seen violet used, don't say purple. they are violet. All right, it's specifically violet. All right, it says right there, violet. It is not purple. The only time I've ever seen violet used was in the movie Apocalypse Now. I never actually saw one in real life. Always saw white, yellow, red, and that's pretty much it. So I found a lot of information online. Some of them made me laugh, and I want to get this right, so I wrote them all down. Red is used for marking the enemy position. Okay. So red was for enemy's position. In order to mark the enemy's position with something like this or the red M18, you have to be really, really close. So danger close. That is not, in fact, what red is used for. Red is used for whatever. All right, it's command specific SOP. All right, you pop one of these off if you're trying to mark an area. When you're radioing aircraft and whatnot, you're going to specifically tell them, hey, the red smoke is designating where I am. You need to destroy all targets north of me or east of me or southwest of me. The smoke is being used to just kind of mark your area. Same with marking LZs, things like that. If you're doing a medevac, you're going to pop smoke in a clearing specifically to mark where you are. It's going to be easier to see. All right, they said blue is for a friendly position. Sure, okay. Green is for an ammo drop. It's like we're playing Call of Duty or something. Violet was for medevacs. Again, I've never actually seen a violet smoke grenade in person outside of these. Yellow and orange denotes damaged vehicles or vehicles that need repair. I'll tell you right now, I've used yellow grenades just to mark things. White is always for concealment, like I already said. Some of these other colors, I've actually never seen the military use, which is black and various other colors like that. So the shutter bombs come in 9 colors. All right. Some we've already seen. So we saw the white, we saw red. Of course, you can get yellow. We showed you the violet. They have orange, green, blue, pink. Now, the nice thing about the blue and the pink, gender reveals. So those come in handy. And of course, gray, which is black. All right. But you can see from some of the footage that it is a black, real dark gray color. All right. So here I have a gray one. Even though it looks black, it's gray. So I'm going to light it up, and then I'm going to toss it over into the fire pit. And you guys can get a better view on how it looks. All right, she's lit. Fire pit. So it's marked gray, and it's coming out more of a black gray. Okay. So why do we need to use these? It's pretty simple. If you're into photography, cinematography, things like that, these are great for adding depth to your story and to your videos. Getting outside of things like that, why would normal civilians want to use these? Okay? It's pretty simple. They are great ways to mark things. White. You could use these for home defense. There's nothing saying that you can't light one of these. You'll see there's large flames, but great way to conceal movement. So, you know, if you're into that type of thing, you want to pop one of these off in the home, okay, just know there is usually a big flame that comes out. So before you toss it, wait for that flame to go away and wait for it to be kicking out smoke. More practical applications outside of something like that is, say you're out hiking. and you get lost because you gave the compass and the map to the LT. Now, how do you get saved? Well, I mean, you can use flares, which are great, but sometimes flares go up, and obviously they're going to come down. But sometimes flares come down, and then during a dry season can create a fire. So we're trying to mitigate that. Well, when you hear an aircraft, you can mark your area with one of these. The instructions are going to tell you straight up not to hold these, but as you can see by some of the footage, I did hold these. They do get warm, but they don't get so warm that they burn your hand. Or we're going to run an experiment. We're going to see how far away we can see it. So I just sent my son with one. He's going to be out about 100 yards or so away at a neighbor's house. And we'll see if we can see it from down here. He's slowly walking up there. And we're not going to use zoom or anything like that. I just want to see the effective range. Like, how far can we see it? So, it takes a little while to walk 100 yards. Then I'll flip the camera and we'll see. I know it's not the most exciting thing, but it's the most I can pretty much do inside of a neighborhood without freaking my neighbors out there. So you definitely can see the smoke. I think he got a bunch of it in his face because he was covering his eyes. The neighbors that are down here, they know what I do. Neighbors up there, they have an idea, but they're probably giving weird looks right now. So we can clearly see that is green. It's pretty good at a distance. So ignite it. It is going to shoot sparks off. Hold it away from you. And then it's going to smoke. And it's going to be able to be waved around so you can mark your territory. Mark the area you're in and be rescued. So that's always a plus. These are great for training environments. If you are going to some of the more tactical training out there for defensive carbine, defensive pistol, things like that, you need to learn how to shoot and move and coordinate under a stress. So how do we create the stress? Pretty simple. We have crash bangs, which are going to give off a flash, a loud bang. It's going to kind of screw you up. And we have distractors such as smoke. So if you're trying to get a beat on your target and you're working with like VTAC barricade, but all of a sudden your target is now obscured via smoke, it becomes a lot harder, especially if you're going against the clock, which is a great way to add those stressors. Again, there is a small flame that punches out in the beginning, so be mindful while using them. We don't want to start any small brush fires. So use responsibly. All right, so enough of me yammering about. Let's show some footage of me testing some of these out, which I did in my backyard. And you can see through different areas, there are different usages, right? The coverage, the amount of smoke it put out, things like that. Unfortunately, it was a really windy day, so as fast as the smoke was coming out, it was getting dispersed quickly in my backyard. It did linger for a bit, but one grenade was not enough to really conceal, say, movements or anything. You'd have to use a few of them in tandem. However, in a smaller confined space, you can see that it is a thick, rich smoke that will do a great job of hiding you or your movements or whatever you're trying to do. So right at the gate, you might want to know, how long do these actually last? Well, they say that they will last up to 90 seconds. I, myself, did time these, and I got actually more than 90 seconds out. Now, you may think, well, that's not a lot of time. Well, the regular M18 smoke grenades are only good for about 90 seconds themselves. So, there you go. The time is about the same. I did get a little bit more time out of them, which is nice. It's a good surprise. I did time it. I did it a couple of times and averaged it out. It's a little over 90 seconds. Next question that might be asked. How long will these last? Okay. These right here have a shelf life of about 10 years. So as long as you store them properly, I'd store them just like you store regular ammunition, because these are considered an explosive or a pyrotechnic by most state standards. Storing it in the same manner you would store your ammunition, keeping it in a controlled environment, right? Not outside, things like that. Locked up, they'll last 10 years. Now on the website, they clearly note that the longer you store these, the better they are. All right, so the older they get, the more smoke they're going to put out, the thicker the smoke, so on and so forth, and the longer they last. I don't know the science behind it, but that's what the website says. So if you're worried about storing these in around 8-year mark, you're like, oh, they're not going to work. Nope, they're going to work. They're going to work even better as they age. So they age like a fine wine, I guess. Do they stain? Yes, they will stain. The smoke that comes out will stain. So if you're doing it in a confined space, it is definitely going to stain the surrounding areas. It will stain the grass. It will stain if you throw them into a bucket, things like that. They all do that. They're all going to do that. All right. The smoke will stain. Is it healthy to breathe? Well, the smoke itself is non-toxic. However, it's not recommended that you breathe this in. So after you ignite it, you're going to want to make sure that you're keeping it away from your face, right? You don't want to be right there in the smoke, huffing it, basically. It is not good for you. Any particulates going into your lungs are not good for you, whether it be smoking, inhaling smoke, or numerous other things, all right? So be wary of that. Use responsibly. I went to the website. It's right here on my phone, and they have some commonly asked questions, which I'm going to cover for you to save you some time. Okay, so when it comes to shipping, due to the nature of the product, they can only ship within the United States, excluding these following states: Alaska, California, Delaware, Hawaii, Massachusetts, Ohio, Oregon, Rhode Island, and Washington, D.C., because they are considered an explosive. All right? If you went to the community page, you would have seen that I posted a picture of the box, and you can clearly see how it is marked. All right? When they ship it, how do you get it? You will either get it FedEx or UPS, because that's how they handle it. When will you receive your tracking number? Once you order them. Within 24 to 48 hours, you'll receive a tracking number and you'll be able to track it. Shipping, when you order it, usually ships out in 1 to 2 days. It goes in, is it safe to breathe? Why do people ask? Is it safe to... No, it's not safe to breathe. Can I bring a smoke grenade on an airplane? No, absolutely not. Don't do that. That's literally their answer. Do these expire? And it goes into our smoke bombs should last 2 to 4 years if stored in a cool, dry place. However, they are kind of like a fine wine, and they get better with age. All right. If you experience a smoke bomb that is a dud, reach out to them with a picture of the product, and they will happily give you a free smoke bomb on your next order. All right. These are designed to last for up to 10 years, and they're being conservative when they tell you the 2 to 4 year mark. All right. So this is something nice to have in your bug out gear, something to put away with your little bolt bags, things like that. Have a couple of these in your recce rigs, things like that. Since you can't get normal smoke grenades, these are great to have these. Now, if you're going to carry these on you, when it comes to igniting them, obviously there is not a pull tab. So how would I suggest you ignite them? Well, you can use matches. You can use just a random Bic lighter. But I would recommend, if you have one of those butane torches, small ones, you can get them at a gas station, you can get them at 7-Elevens, Cumbies, everywhere's got them. You can use those because it's got that flame that will ignite these rather quickly. So having something like that on you when you plan on using these is probably going to be smart. Now, you may notice that all of them have these little black caps. This is what I was interested in, was exposure to elements. All right, so many of us will be carrying these with us. It could start raining, things like that, and we don't want anything up in here getting wet. So when you get them, the cap is just on there. I decided that I was going to add some electrical tape around the base of the cap, sealing it, all right, and then putting a small fold in so you can just grab that fold and pull the tape off. I had the bright idea to see if it would actually really work. That I taped it up and I submerged it in a small bucket of water for 1 hour. You can see by my watch, you can see where I put it in, and you can see I took it out 1 hour later. And to no surprise, when you remove the tape, the wick was dry and it immediately ignited and worked just great. Alright, so it is now 14:09. This has been in the water for an hour. Now let's see if it still works. The wick looks dry. Looks like there's a little water intrusion right there, but let's see. The compounds inside did not get bogged down with water, even though it was underwater for 1 hour. So being out in the environment, getting some rain on it is not going to be a problem. I would just seal that black cap on to ensure that the wick stays dry. But if I can have it submerged underwater for 1 hour, a little light rain is not going to affect it. All right. Now, if you're doing water ops, as long as you're not in the water too long, you're not going to have any problems. Now, I could test some of these maybe longer in the future. Instead of having it in the water for 1 hour, maybe we can do 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, things like that. Let me know down in the comments below if you would like me to extend the period of underwater. We can do a bunch of them and stick them in that water, and then every hour on the hour pull it out and light it and see if it works and see how that goes. So hit up the comments below, let me know. All right, so that's pretty much all I have for you this video. I mean, we covered different uses for the smoke grenades, how I think you should add these to your arsenal. They are good to have for concealing movement, signaling, things like that. They are not only used for, the tactical stuff, but these are great for signaling where you are if you need help. So if you're into hiking, rock climbing, going off the beaten road, having something like this is a must. You'll be able to mark your area. How to order all this will be down in the description below. There's links to their website. They are running deals right now to where you order a package and you'll get a discount. So I think you can get 20 of them for the cost of like 14, which roughly will come out to about 150 bucks, which is a really good deal. They do last a while, so you can order just one. You can order the whole package, which comes with 9 different colors, or you can mix and match. You can do just, say, 10 yellows or 5 yellows and 5 reds. It's very customizable. So you can figure out the website. It's not rocket surgery. All right. Again, I want to give a big thank you out to Shutterbomb for sponsoring this video and sending us some cool things to play with and doing the review on their product. I am completely impressed with their product. I will definitely be using them in the future to restock on these, since I did burn through a whole bunch of them. They are great for training and all the other good things, and I'd like to keep them in stock and add them into my emergency stores, my bolt bags, my vehicles, things like that. Definitely taping up the caps to ensure that the integrity of that wick will stay dry. All right, so that's all I have. All right, let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. If you think it's a pretty cool product, if you plan on ordering some, go out and support good companies that support you and believe in the things that you believe in. They are non-woke, which is great. So you got to support those companies when you can. All right, I will see you guys in the next video. Y'all have a great day.
All right, so white is usually used for concealing troop movements, things like that. So he's got the white one. Let's see how well it conceals them.
Technical difficulties.
You are one giant technical difficulty.